Hey folks, welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium on the 26th of August 2024. So just kind of running through a couple of things today, see if there's anything setting up. This is the Kiwi here. What I want to do is I want to see where we are relative to these major highs. Here, we managed to close above, but then we gapped lower. So this is telling me that we're likely not going to hold higher. We also have a very big price inefficiency, so guessing that price is going to wriggle lower from here. So, I mean, having that in mind, you can see here that prices gap lower like that. Okay, this is an interesting situation, and so what we want to do is we want to look for reasons that we think that prices might wriggle lower shorter term. We've done here. I'd been really happy if we would have done this, but we did not. Something like that. Removing this and then moving back up into here somewhere on a sell zone. Let's see if we have something setting up there. So excuse me, on the 15-minute chart you can see that we've already had this zone. It's already been tested. This one here was created, tested. This one here consumed it. Okay, it's been tested a couple of times, and now we're beginning to break down. And so what we want to do is we want to identify zones and sell zones in that area. So looking at this here, we have the sell zone is right here. Oops, right there. That's kind of like the deepest retracement on the kind of the release candle here. And then we have this spot here. This is the thicket of liquidity. I'd certainly put my stop above that, and I would probably do something like this because I want the stops a little bit above here, because there could easily be some liquidity exploration before prices finally begin to break down. Okay, so we want to allow for that to happen. We have a zone here, not so interesting. We have the buy zone just here, and so here we have price inefficiency. We have uncharted water, so we have pancakes down here, but the beginning of the buy zone is just here. Okay, so prices could easily come down to at least this price point prior to doing something up here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a slightly bigger time frame and just look for like a clear scenario. And we have one here. We're just testing this little zone. As I mentioned, I'd like that to be gone, but it's not gone. It's there, so we have to deal with that. So I mean, the stop should be well above. And then here we have this. Okay, these three candles are in the same family. They're all related because the body of this candle is traded in between the range of the previous. But note here as well that this one is kind of in the range of that one. This one is in the range of that one. This one is in the range of that one. So all of these are pretty well related. So I would be pretty comfortable doing something like that with the stop, like, you know, twice the size, a little bit above this high here, and then trading as prices wriggle low. We did manage to move below here. Okay, so we've got this scenario here. This is the area of supply just here, and so this is what we have. So I'm just going to whack that on there. That's 17 micro lots, or 1.7 mini lots. The stop is 6250. 6250. And this is a limit pending short at 62.21. 62.21. Then we'll have a look where we put that target. I'm just going to put it here for the time being. Then reassess on the 4-hour. Yeah, so we could have a. Yeah, I think we could probably make it down here. This is just a nice cutaway. Just here. Okay, so yeah, we'll see. Let's see if we get a wriggle up there and then a continuation lower. All right, oil. So before we do this, let's go have a look at the COT data. Okay, so let's have a look. We want futures only. We want recent data, and we want WTI physical. WTI physical. We want to look at the most recent period. We want to display that. Yeah, so here we have things kind of going deeper south. Have a look at the these guys here. I mean, these guys, let's have a look here. We have 42% long, 58% short. The week before, 42, 58, 42, 43. So we're reducing shorting positions for the commercials. But you can see here that we are kind of expanding negative, which we should be aware of. So let's go have a look at the oil and see what we can see. Just here, we have oil here. Even though we're expanding negative, looking at this on the weekly chart, you can see that we moved below this low just here, which is really interesting, and we closed much higher than the midpoint of the previous week, and then we made something like this, a huge run higher. Then we came back almost down to the origin of this, and so yeah, personally, I think that we're going to see a little of a wriggle higher, shorter term for this. And on the 4-hour chart, you can see that pretty clearly. And what I like about this, we got something like this. Price goes down, we move above, and so we want to move back in to around here. Okay, so if we mark off the boxing buy side, which is here, this is about where the 50% point is. Okay, so you want to be, this is premium prices and this is discount prices. Okay, and the reason I say that is because, I mean, buying anything up here, I mean, that would be a pretty silly idea. And if we go back to the old model, I mean, the likelihood of a buy here working out is maybe 10%, but down here it's maybe 90%. Okay, so you just want to buy lower. So I'm thinking, as prices do that and they move back into the discount area at demand, just here, I think that we'll probably see prices wriggle away and maybe revisit these highs, or just visit a sell zone within this range. So here we have boxing, this is the zone, this is the sell side. Okay, this is the sell side, this is the buy side. Okay, so the sell side, I mean, this is roughly where it is, so you want to be selling up here. Okay, you do not want to be selling up here or down here. And if you would have sold here, I mean, you would have got stopped out because prices kept wriggling higher. So with that in mind, where do we have the sell zone? We got a sell zone right there. It's not a very straight line. Try again. Right there, sell zone. Supply, we've got that right here. And the reason this is interesting for us is because we have black space. We had a historical low that was removed. Okay, so this would be the likely place for prices to begin to react on buyers. I think liquidity, buyers will be met with a little bit of resistance from this price point and then up to the edge of this area of supply just here. So I'm gonna do that. So if you were to put a short on here, the stop would have to be quite big. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take this at the core just here. I'm going to put my stop a little bit above. I'm going to put that on. That's a tiny little baby position. We're shorting at 77.85, 85. Targets are, we'll sort that in a minute, 79.02, so 79. I'm going to put that on. Good, and so the obvious place would be here to get out, and an obvious place to get in would be on the buy side, which is here. Okay, let me just draw that in this nice thick color. Here we have demand. Here we have the buy zone. Here we have, I normally say black space because my charts are always black, but just to mix it up a little bit, I've changed them to white. So here we have the buy zone. Okay, so the buy zone starts here, and we have this, and then we have the demand just here. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a buy limit in down here, and I'm going to try and ride this up to roughly where my entry is here. When price gets up here, then I'll ride that down to whatever price structures are formed as prices continue to wriggle higher. So I'll do that very quickly. That's a tiny bit bigger. Stop loss is, before I do that, 74.45, 74.45, 73.50, I'm going to take this to the buy zone, which is right there. Okay, so that's what we've got on oil. Okay, let's have a look at the American dollar, Swiss franc. So I was trying to get in here last week on Friday and took a small loss. I just had a quick cough there. And then it was Friday, so I just shut it down. It's silly to try and trade on Fridays. But what I like about this is that we have low, high, boom. We need to move above, we need to run above here. So waiting for that to happen. I've got this here. I'm anticipating a price run higher. It has not happened yet, so I might move this lower as I wait. And when it does, matter of fact, I'll do that right now. Whoop, we'll move it down. Where is that? Where's the low? The low is right there, so I'm just going to move it just beyond the low. Then we're going to wait. As price moves above there, I want it to move above here. So that's we're still waiting for that. Let's have a look at what price is looking at, is reacting at. So we'll put a mark on the low. We'll go to the daily. We want to see prices testing. Yeah, so that's not pretty interesting there. There's nothing really in there on this time frame, but maybe on the 4 hour we have a buy zone or a demand. Pretty close. Prices come down, we reject, we open, and we engulf the previous candle. So this is pretty interesting. Prices, slingshots came back here before we released higher. Okay, and so now we're pretty deep, but we have to have a look in that little price structure just there, which we'll do just here. Good, so here we have the zone right here, and then the buy zone is right at the edge of the zone. I would have put the zone like this, but because we have it there, I'm going to adjust the zone and make it a little bit deeper. So we've got that there. So this is where prices should react. They did. They went deep into the zone, probably 35% into it. So we had a nice reaction on the initial test, and now prices are, what are they doing? They are exploring the state of liquidity. Boom. Now we want to see what? We want to see prices break high, showing us that we have an interest in buying, showing us that we have liquidity down here, which I think that we likely do. But we're not seeing that just yet. This is also kind of lunchtime in Asia. It's almost 1400 hours Singapore time, but we want prices to move above here, which have not yet has not happened. So maybe during the European session, we'll have a run beyond that, which we do not have. So we have some builders doing something in the front there, which is a bit noisy, so my apologies for that. We've got to wait for something to happen here. Not yet happened. Okay, good. So moving on, the pound. Actually, let's have a look at the pound. Let's have a look at this. I'm going to look at the traders in the financial futures. I want to look at the British pound, and I want to see what people are doing. What's going on here? Okay, so the dealers, what are they doing? They're pretty short. Okay, and then we have the asset managers. These are the smart money folk. They're expanding their the bullish side of their balance sheet pretty nicely. We went from 36% to 47%. Gosh, so that's an 11% increase on long positions relative to short positions. And then leveraged money, what are they doing? 71 to 68. Yeah, so I mean this is the smarter money. But we want to pay attention to these three here, because these are telling us more or less where the flows are moving into. But if we look at all of them together aggregated, you can see here that we have the biggest group is the leveraged money, and they are long, more long than anyone else. Okay, so the leveraged money is, if we look at the price chart, is actually what's driving price, because prices are moving higher. Let's have a look actually on the weekly chart. Yeah, prices are moving higher. So we have to look. God, I got a frog in my throat. We have to look at this group, the group that is buying the most, and that's happening here, as you can see very, very clearly. It's the leveraged money. So the leveraged money is what we want to pay a little bit of attention to, and you can see here that they're probably taking some profits where they had a lot of let's go to the percentage. They had 71 last week, this week 68, 29 to 32, so they're probably taking profits. And if we look at the chart, maybe there's a zone, a level. Let's have a look. Go like this and we'll have a look and see what it is exactly that's causing these people to take profits. And you can see that we have a little zone here, right there. This is the one we marked off on the weekly chart. We're just at the edge of it now, and we just poked into it. Okay, so they're probably taking off some of their long trades from around here. Okay, prices, gosh, coughing like an old man here. So we're testing here. You have to be mindful of that on the 4-hour chart. Keep that in mind. And so we could easily see prices form a pattern here. Excuse me. And we want to see prices kind of run for the highs and retreat. We have not yet done that, so we have to keep an eye on this. I'm going to put, this is the high from Friday of last week, which is slightly less interesting. Okay, but what we want to do is I'm going to put an alarm to holler once prices come up to the high from last week, and then we'll see what happens once prices do visit that. But we do have a really nice kind of price structure down here, but the reason I wouldn't buy there is because, and I know I can almost hear your voices, equilibrium. Here we have the premium, and here we have the discount. So we take the software, move it over here, and we whack on boxing. Boxing here, true. Let's see if it grabs it. It might grab it from here. Let's see. Oh, it took it from this swing. Okay, so if we, yeah, we go like this on the daily chart, it's probably clearer. Yeah, then we'll grab it from the bottom here to the current high. Yeah, right there. So we want to be, we don't want to be buying here, is what I'm trying to say. We just poked into weekly supply. So buying into weekly supply is a really rubbish idea. So you got to wait for prices to move lower. Super important. And we had a lot of really interesting zones here. We had this little one here. We had a nice reaction. Another one here, a decent reaction. This one here, we had a reaction here. This one here, a nice reaction. This one here, lovely reactions here. Another one here, another reaction, another reaction. So all of these zones had a reaction that you could have managed into a profit. Okay, even this one, which is a pattern of supply into a demand. Okay, so but this is a really bad one. You wouldn't take this one because of its location. Okay, but what you can see here is that we have another one formed here. Would I take this one? No, I really wouldn't, and I wouldn't take it because we are simply too high. We are way deep in the premium price territory. Excuse me, so we'd have to wait for prices to come lower. Okay, so we can watch. You can take a demo trade. You can maybe do a bit of a trading exercise at this this little price nodule here. But I certainly would not entertain the idea of a long from this price point. But what I would do, I wait for prices to visit these highs and then look for prices to, looks like we're doing something now where we have price right to a high, a low, and we start to kind of stabilize a little bit, going higher, retreating. What we want to see is like, you want prices really to kind of jet outside and then come back in the zone and then trade out. Then you sell, entry, stop above the highs, and you follow it down to equilibrium here. so that's what we have. My voice sounds like a small child. Okay, here we got a similar situation going on. Would you buy here? Would I buy here? No, I would not. And the reason I wouldn't is because what we just saw on the daily, on the pound, is that we're too deep into premium. This is the right one. This is perfect from here to here, you would wait for prices to move to a much more attractive price, which we don't have. And what we do have instead, we have attempts to visit these highs. So if we just kind of go like that roughly, there's a zone in here. And so what you would do here is you would mark off the zone that consumed this. Okay, because here we had departure, test, 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 accumulation, consumption of this. This is gone. The area that did it is here. So we would dissect this zone, and this is where we would expect prices to move to. Okay, and so looking at this, you can see that I actually quite like this, how we had inefficient price higher, inefficient price lower, rebalancing, and then kind of a stable period of accumulation before prices started to detach and move higher. Okay, so we have this zone here. It's kind of an ugly one on this chart, but it looks something like that. You know what, I would probably move it down. You could do the whole thing. This is the kind of the candle that moved opposite to this price point here. Then we have the buy zone. And here we have two zones. We have parent, child, so prices, and we have buy zone. So prices are likely going to go into the parent, which is below the child, like so. Okay, and now we have this one here, which is at the buy zone. Buy zone right here above, and prices when they left here, we had a high, low. We moved above here, tested. We moved above, so here we cut above. Here we cut above. So I'm guessing there's a bit of clout from around this price point just here. So keep your eye on that and watch it. I like this one as well because it moved above here. But keep your eye on this one and this one, keeping in mind that we are, that we're kind of in the premium side of this price swing. So just keep that in mind. You guys can probably hear the chicklets screaming in the background. This morning I was upstairs making breakfast, and we have 3 Balinese chickens, and then we have 3 black chickens, and we have 1 rooster. And the female chicken with the 6 chicklets was in the corner of our garden. There was a hole in the fence, and one of the farmers took the bloody mother chicken, and so the chicklets are running around wondering where their mother is, and I'm thinking that the mother got eaten for breakfast, so we're like super upset. God, pissed me off. So I have to go and find that farmer today and beat him with a bamboo stick. Bastard took my chicken. Anyway, a little update from Bali, life in Bali. Anyway, so that's what we have here, and it's 23 minutes, so I'm going to stop talking. But do you have any questions about these zones or levels? Please let me know. But please mark them off on your chart. Consider trading them. Definitely trade them on demo. Watch them on your live account, or consider trading on your live account, and study as price moves on. And if you have any comments on this, please drop it in the Trade Ideas channel, and we can start a discussion. Right. I hope this was useful. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.